Jam. I'm Victoria Ferrari, and we're here today with our regular three handsome fellows from across the pond, Noel Kennedy, Jason Ward, and Kev Talbot. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing a little bit different here on AV Jam today. We've kind of set up, I have kind of a plan. The guys kind of know, but not really. So I'm kind of doing a takeover here. I am going to just ask some questions and pitch it to the guys. And, they're going to kind of debate a little bit back and forth. And then we'll just see what happens. They don't know the questions, they didn't get the questions in advance or anything like that. So let's take it away. I also have mute power, so if you guys start to get unruly, I can mute you. So
yeah, Jace.
Yeah. I don't know. You've got the nerve to say that.
All right. Question 1. So I'm going to go to you first, Jason, with this one. From a business perspective, which is more important, sales or marketing?
We
all know the correct answer anyway, don't we?
Yeah, we all know the correct answer. It's sales. Market. Oh, I'm going to get in so much trouble for this. Right?
Go on, Jace. Answer the question.
Like everything, without sales, there's no revenue. Sales can win business without marketing, right?
I love this.
I know you want to debate, but I'm kind of weird. Marketing for me is paid by numbers.
It's colouring in.
Paid by numbers.
Well, I was hoping, since, Jason, you have marketing in your title, that you would take that approach. But okay, so we all agree sales is more important when it comes down to business. But so I'll take the marketing side. How is anybody going to know about you without marketing?
One could argue, how would you want? What if you don't want everyone to know about you?
Well, how is anyone going to know? You're just supposed to show up at someone's door and be like, hey, I sell AV, buy this TV.
The inside definitions of marketing, you've got lead generation and PR. You might not want to do PR because you're not Coca-Cola, right? But you always want to do lead generation. If you only want to do lead generation but remove marketing, sales can still generate leads.
That's true.
So then it comes down to PR and colouring in, like Kev said. Look, marketing's only on my title because it has to be. If you go to company's house, it only says sales.
That's funny. I do think. I enjoy marketing. I think it's fun. I think there's a good, a nice creative side to sales. My team, not only do we market to the outside world, but our marketing team actually uses it as a way to build culture within our company. So like our marketing team markets stuff to us, the internal employees, and it helps us build culture. And, that technically makes me a better salesperson because I'm happy. I like my company. I want to, there's a lot of different roles, a lot of different places that marketing can come in, I feel. But
you're absolutely right. And Amy, we love you. I love you 7 days a week. That's 7 days a week.
All right.
She's not going to do it.
Anybody else? Yeah, you guys. All right. Next question. This one, I'm coming to you, Kevin, first. Who is more imperative in keeping the client happy, engineer or sales?
Oh, I will blatantly, absolutely, 100% tell you I am engineers, not sales. I am not sales. Noel tells me off all the time, tells me I am in sales. I'm not in sales. Engineers, we rule.
That wasn't
You
the
are in
question.
sales.
That wasn't the question.
No.
Yeah, engineers, we are more imperative.
The question was who ultimately ensures the customer's satisfaction,
Engineers.
not engineers.
Yeah, we're the ones that always get it in the neck if something goes wrong. We're the first.
You're in sales with me. Or not. And you and I will ultimately ensure the customer is happy because we've designed and sold something correctly. And then we've told the engineers, because the design's correct and we've understood the need of the customer, what to do.
Stop coming at me with your ironclad logic. I'm not in sales. I don't want sales.
What do
I
you
want
think,
time.
Jason? Who's ultimately, the keeper of the client satisfaction? Is it who does more, really, the engineer or the salesperson?
Who does more is the key
Imperative.
is the key question, because the answer to the first question is everybody. Everybody's responsible for client satisfaction. Who does more? I think it depends on the work you're doing, doesn't it? If it's an engineering heavy job and you're on site for 3 months, the sales guy is going to be less visible after the PO. And the engineers are going to be more visible. So then it does turn on its head that the engineers are very responsible for the client satisfaction. Now, you walk around with your bum hanging out your trousers and an untidy site, you're pretty much going to have an upset client. But, if the sales guy put shit in at the beginning.
If you've got an engineer walking around with his arse hanging out, the client's going to pick up the phone and call the salesperson.
You're right.
No.
And if there's any problems, the client's always going to pick up the phone and call the salesperson. I've been called by customers before to remove engineers, not involve engineers, I will add, from site.
Yep.
Ultimately,
Me
that sits with the account managers.
Annoyingly, it's right, I do agree. It is the account manager. They are the ones that are going to take the flak no matter what. They're the ones that have to keep that relationship going long after anybody has left. They're the ones that if service has an issue, if something goes down and there's a service escalation issue, they'll go to the account manager. I do agree. I just don't want to agree.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys agree. I agree. I agree as well. At the end of the day, if you're a good account manager and it is like that, not only are you supposed to, make sure that the engineer is doing what he said he's going to do and that you guys are achieving the results that you've promised to the client. But on top of it, just like you said, during service, if something goes wrong, they're calling the salesperson. Salesperson is hanging out with these decision makers at dinner. They're having drinks. They're building rapport. They may know their kids. I mean, there's a lot that goes into building a relationship and keeping a client happy. And there's some clients that are like, hey, buy me a steak dinner 3 times a month, and yeah, you're my provider now.
For this,
So,
yeah. You're my provider for this week.
yeah.
Yeah, we know a few of them.
All right.
No.
Okay, so here's another one. Third question. Who is going to win the video conferencing war? Software or hardware?
Ooh. Oh.
Temporarily software.
Temporarily?
Yeah. I think we're going to go round.
Really?
I see a merry-go-round. We've always had merry-go-rounds. Merry-go-rounds.
I don't think we'll come all the way back round to codecs with XLRs and stuff on it, though, will we?
We'll come down to hardware of some sort, but not XLRs, I'm sure. It'll be a hardware booth of virtual reality and AI.
I still don't feel hardware is going to disappear at all. You look even at a software UC platform right now. How many of them manufacturers will tell you to use their client on your laptop to run a meeting room? They won't. They want you to buy a Zoom room, a Microsoft room. They want you to buy a Skype room, whatever the software platform is. Ring Central are now doing it with Poly 8x8. Every Tom, Dick and Harry are getting into the hardware market for their room systems because they don't want you doing it on your laptop. Hardware is going on. Hardware. Who did I see the other day with Facebook and hardware?
Zoom.
There you go.
Yep.
That's a massive two fingers to the world, that is.
Sorry, I'm saying it. Most of anything that Zoom does is a massive two fingers to the world. They couldn't give a rat's ass if they tried about their partner program at all. Categorically.
I don't even think like partners can sell Zoom in the U.S. anymore. Like I don't even know. I asked my engineer the other day. I was like, "Hey, can we sell Zoom licenses?" He's like, "I don't know. They changed a bunch of stuff." And I'm like, "All right."
Yeah.
And the fact that they sell the hardware direct, Microsoft have done the same. You go onto their website, onto Microsoft US, you can buy an MTR. You can't do it on the UK site. Because from what I can gather, the UK just wouldn't allow it. And hearing some of the OEM partners, they won't allow it in the UK. But in the US, anything goes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that was totally different.
For having the balls to come out with it.
You're struck right off that Zoom Christmas card list now, though, mate.
But I love Gabe.
Yeah, we love Gabe. Just Gabe. He's a saving grace for Zoom. So I agree. I think, there always has to be a camera, right? As far as we know, the laws of physics, there always has to be a mic. There always has to be speakers. So that's hardware. But also, I feel, when building out a room, in most cases, having a dedicated codec is still better. I have a lot of clients that are like, I don't want to just have a pseudo, really a PC that's running software and then a bunch of USB devices. We've tried that and it's not long-term. It's not commercial. There's issues. I mean, I can't tell you, we've had so many issues with those freaking stupid Logitech. Sorry, can I say that?
Yeah.
Say it.
Yeah, say it.
If you talk that name, you might need to mute me because I'll go.
Oh my gosh. It's, well, and that they're back to the marketing, right? I mean, they have great marketing because, customer says, hey, why don't you just sell me this Logitech, tab? I can get it online for $199 or whatever. It's like, no. Let me explain why.
I do like what Polly have done by shrouding the Nook in their own case and almost hiding the fact that it's.
Yeah.
I do like that though.
That's paid by numbers. That's paid by numbers right there. But
It breaks my head to go, that works.
I mean, at the end of the day, everything is a computer, really. But when you break it down, but it's purpose built. So that's okay. It's purpose built. It's locked down. It's, has a Polycom sticker on it.
That's the same with the MTRs. The Zoom rooms are a bit different, but the MTRs especially, even though they'll tell you it is the software, look what they've done to that PC. It's not just a full-blown Windows 10 do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's an LTSC version or whatever it is. It doesn't do feature updates off its own backs. It only does the security like a hardware codec was. I upset someone at Microsoft when I said to them, your MTR is just another black box like anybody else's black box codec. They don't accept that. But it's a piece of tin with a bit of software that's locked down for a specific purpose. They're all black boxes.
Yeah. Okay, so that actually is good to lead into my next question. And I don't know if you guys want to, you can just tell me, no, we want to pass on this one, because you kind of covered this a little bit, but not really. You got into more details with Frank in one of your recent episodes. But is AV IT?
Start with Noel, please.
No.
I agree with him as well, to be honest. Is AVIT? No, it's not. Because if it is, then everything's IT.
And why isn't everything IT?
Well, there you go. So everything's IT. So if we could take that, you can be as symbolic about
that makes my car IT, doesn't it, Noel? Because it's a big iPad on four wheels.
Yeah, your car's IT, your watch is IT, your cook is IT. It's all IT. I mean, I nearly swore then. How much does IT want? Everything. And if somebody needs to label it IT for a need, then so be it. They'd be wrong, because you've got to break it down into the different sectors to have that specialisation. And this is where the problems are coming now, is that IT people think that they can install audio-visual because it's got a USB cable in there somewhere. And they're wrong.
Yeah, they're definitely wrong. I don't think, IT people necessarily, I mean, there's a lot of skills involved in AV that they don't have, that takes experience and takes time. But I do believe that AV is a subset of IT, and, it's important to look at it like that. It's been that way forever. I mean, you guys remember, Infocom had those 10 years ago, it was like convergence, right? The whole convergence thing. Well, nobody's talking convergence anymore, so I'm pretty sure we're converged.
Yeah, it's
I thought this. I was with you. I always thought AV is a subset, but I went off on a rant. Noel dropped his one line at me, and I had no comeback for that genuine reason. I'm now in the part that it potentially isn't fully IT, more of a partnership with IT. I think there is a lot of crossover. I think there is a lot of people that need to understand elements of it. But I still do think AV in itself, traditional AV, is its own specialisation completely.
I think there's enough people out there.
To more IT, but I don't.
There's enough AV people out there that want it to be, but in a submissive way, rather than trying to not have it be. It's we're IT now, and they've given up.
Yeah. Exactly.
And when you give up, just because it's got a USB, does, like Noel said, IT can't design the microphone pickup, the polar pickup pattern in a room, and they'll just whack. Let's do the Logitech thing, a rally down the room. Oh, great! What's the skills in that? I didn't sign up to that when I joined AV years ago.
Right. Or the acoustics in a space, I'm seeing, I'm sure you guys see it too, glass everywhere, hard floor, hard ceiling, and then they expect it to just work and be able to put whatever they want in there.
Well, you think of things like live events being an obvious one. If AV was IT, everything would have a network port, which a lot of it does, I get that. But everything would be packet-based. Tell me anything in live events that's packet-based. I don't think of that much. It's not, and none of them would even have a clue or even have a want to. But then if you take it back to its basics, IT or AV, it's about getting information A, source A, to destination output B. And its most basic form, no matter how it's getting there, it's information from A to B, isn't it?
The thing that started AV Jam was AV Smackdown, wasn't it? And being on that, Mark Coxon, I think it was Mark, said, IT move zeros and ones, AV move hearts and minds.
Yeah, I really did. Yeah.
I love that. That's great. I do. There's a guy in the industry who says AV is the crown jewel of IT.
I'll take that as well.
Hold on, there's a bit of marketing.
I think it's the redheaded stepchild, but
Kev's the princess.
Well, Kev.
I'm taking that too.
All right. Well, we're going past time, but we'll. I got a quick couple rapid fire questions. So whoever you guys just answer it. Okay, and they may or may not be. Oh, actually, none of them are AV related. So, were Ross and Rachel on a break? Yes or no?
Oh,
Yes.
No.
I got a clue what you're talking about.
All right. I figured you guys may or may not be fans. Okay.
I did watch it then, but I don't rewatch it.
Yeah, but that's a big thing. Ross and Rachel were not on a break. They were not on a break.
Okay.
Who shot first? Greedo.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Dogs.
Cats.
Of course, Kevin would say cats.
I've got 2 dogs. The kids won't let me have cats, but cats. I grew up with cats.
That explains a lot. Okay, moving on. Apple.
Android.
Apple or Android?
Android every time.
All day, all night.
Although
Apple.
I say that with an
they're
iPad
always
even beside
the
me
same
as well.
What's your
Are
tablet?
you Android? That's
What's your
awesome.
tablet? No, I'm not Android. What's your tablet, Kev?
iPad.
What's your tablet, Noel?
I haven't got one. Well, Surface, Microsoft.
Oh, yeah. So he's got an Apple. So you're
I've
not
got
even
an
true to
Android
yourself.
here.
You're not even true to yourself just because you got your Chinese hard-on phone. No.
All right. Hang on a minute. It's wicked because the camera pops up. The only reason I've got an iPad is because you tight-fisted bastard, won't buy me an Android.
All right.
I have fallen a bit out of love
last
with
one.
Apple that I got rid of my Mac in favour of PC at home now.
Oh, that's good. Usually people don't go the other way like that.
Windows 10 beats whatever Apple's thing's called now.
Yeah. Okay. Last one. Boxers or briefs?
Boxes.
Boxers.
Kevin, you can fit boxers in those tight pants?
I'm not sure people want to see, but they're pretty tight too.
Oh, no.
So they're briefs. They're briefs.
Can you mute him?
They're just not big woven baggy.
No, muted him. Muted him. He's talking about his pants.
Matt's going to have a field day with this one, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's all I got, guys. I think that was pretty fun. You did pretty good.
Thank you,
You actually
Victoria. It's
were
great
more
having
civil
you.
than you were more civil than our U.S. presidents during their debate, or U.S. potential presidents, whatever you want to call them.
I think at Christmas, Rob Farnell did something with us, didn't he? And he asked, do you agree or not? And we sort of, even with a beer in our hand, said, despite the messing about, we agree. And we just proved it again there.
Yeah. You guys did agree on a lot of things. That's awesome.
Thank you for coming and playing with us. We've loved having you on. You'll have to come
Yeah,
back
you're
and do
welcome.
something again.
Yeah, it was
we'll see
super
you
fun.
soon.
Thanks for having me. All right.
Cheers, guys. See you next time.
Cheers.